This is what a Bentley Continental GT Supersport engine looks like out the car, and it's massive.
It's heavy, bro.
And it's very heavy too. Look how wide the sump is. There's actually no engine oil cooler, so instead they fit the biggest bloody sump on the planet. There's gearbox coolers and so on, no engine oil cooler. So rather than a sump that big like most cars, it's enormous. I mean, the engine, look, it's a normal V, but all the additional shit makes it a square. The turbo manifold setup is probably the most inappropriate thing I've ever seen for a performance engine in my life. Look at this log manifold, which, yeah, there's nothing wrong with logs if they're good enough, if they flow. But look at this. This is 3 litres through that. And then, because they know it's such a restriction, it's actually got more priority to the wastegate than it has to the actual turbo. So, straight out there, turbos are K16s, which you'd normally find in like a 3 litre diesel or a 2 litre petrol. But this is one for each 3 litres. So yeah, EGT sensor there, and no wonder when this must have EGTs as like the main safety function, because this must get hot. Well, we know it gets hot because it's melting all the glue everywhere.
Yeah, you can see it.
There's melting.
On this side.
Yeah, this side you can see it along here. Actually, this side, like you said, is worse, isn't it?
Yeah, there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look from there off.
Yeah. Look at it.
Everything.
Yeah. Just melting. It's just like, and I mean, like that. Oh, you can see it on camera quite well actually. The metal's gone blue. It's got that hot. And bear in mind, this is a standard engine, and not even making that much power for the size of it, just over 100 brake per litre, and it's turning things blue. You know shit's got hot. But yeah, K16s. Nothing much. Yeah, K16. Can't see the rest. They got integral blow-off valves just there. It'd be interesting to see what they're like inside, turbine wheels and compressor wheels. It might be billet, I don't know, but it will get taken apart before too long, so we'll soon find out. But a performance design is not. It is literally for instant full boost, which is, you know, peak torque on these is like 1600 RPM, and to fit in a small package. I mean, in reality, you could fit much better turbos if they were further back here, where the cats were. But for reasons, I don't know, maybe emissions reasons, they wanted the cats to warm up as soon as possible or whatever. It's pretty terrible. But it does what I guess they want it to do, so job done. But now it just means Thomas can build something really, really good from it. Because, I mean, talk about easy gains. Because the good thing is, what is happening to this means the turbos and all this won't be in the standard position anymore. They are being moved, which makes things a whole lot easier to do something good. This is a few days later after that last bit of the video with the Bentley Supersport engine out on the table, and now the exhaust manifolds and turbos have been removed. This is, if you've never seen it before, how like the VR engines work. It is a W, so while you've got exhaust valves right by the port on the one valve, the one sort of exhaust port, the next one you can only just about see it, but look how far back it is, and then again right next to it, and then again right back there, and so on. And it's the same on the intake. It's almost surprising VR engines work so well with such a bizarre design, but clearly Volkswagen, wow, they worked out something very clever with that. And the intake's the same. So yeah, obviously this is just like 2 VRs together, you know. To most VR6 owners, well, R32 Golf owners especially, this side of the engine, it looks very familiar, I'm sure, because it looks a lot like theirs. A few other interesting things. This is the exhaust manifold to head gaskets. 4-layer metal. That's not fucking about, is it? That's proper quality. Although the heat this thing seemed to generate, it would need that. Far less impressive though. Far less impressive is the turbo manifolds. That is literally the worst fucking turbo manifold you can imagine for a 3-litre 24 valve engine. Obviously there's one of these between 3 litres, one for each bank. Obviously it's a 6-litre, and yeah, you can see it's just complete log manifold. Nothing fancy at all, as log as you can possibly get it. And even stupider, look at how small even the outlet port is. You know, there is no, and it's just not good. Yeah, fine, it's perfect for, you know, instant boost, you know, what is it, barely over 100 brake per litre, but Christ alive, that's a restriction. Very, very big restriction.
Okay, right, perfect, spot on. Okay, cheers mate.
This is turbos, obviously 2 of them. They are K16s, Borg Warner K16s. Not your typical K16, they're far more modern. I mean, that's a lovely compressor wheel design, look. Not the typical old school K16 one. Turbine wheel. That looks like a conventional K16 one, in all honesty. But the compressor wheel is lovely. But that is still a tiny, tiny fucking turbo for a 3-litre petrol engine. A 2-litre, one in real super fast response, yeah, lovely. But 3, that is tiny. This is, I would say the compressor side, I'll have to measure it, but it's sort of probably GT28 RS, GT2871 sort of size. And it's the same with the turbine. So yeah, great for a 2-litre, but anything more, hell no. I'd love to fit these on a 2-litre engine, but as you could probably imagine, Bentley Supersport turbos are probably worth about £1 million, so you're better off just selling them. Also, the unusual one, that's the turbine inlet flange. And look, it pretty much gives complete priority to the wastegate, because they know how restrictive it is. The wastegate is literally pointing right at it. The actual, you know, scroll to the turbo is that restrictive little thing right there, because they know pretty much all the exhaust gas is going to be going straight out the gate. But yeah, there you go. Gigantic actuator. Twin port, look, one at the bottom, one at the top. Which again, because of that massive back pressure, it'll need 2 ports to keep the bloody thing shut. But yeah, I mean, obviously they want to make it, well, Bentley style, so not a revvy thing, just an instant full boost thing. But obviously this is giving away a whole shitload of performance from what that engine could do. Interesting, cool, but nowhere near optimal. But that's Thomas's job, to make it a lot more optimal. So some massive changes.
To be honest, anything you're gonna make, even the shitty one, is gonna be better.
Yeah,
than the other.
well that's the thing. You could literally, you know, you could get a blind idiot to get like a fucking Chinese Skyline manifold and somehow hack it onto there, and it's like perfect. Even if the ports wouldn't match or nothing, anything would be better. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what this will make at what boosts with a proper flowing setup. It should be amazing, really. I mean, if it can do that well from that, I mean, granted, that is going to have, that had instant, you know, full torque at like 1600 RPM. But whatever. What this could make, you know, without still being super responsive, I reckon it's going to be massively, massively more than that without even hardly giving away anything low down. So, well, we will see. It's been a few days since I've shown anything to do with the project that Thomas is doing with this Bentley Supersport engine. But one thing I say is the Bentley itself is not in here anymore. Because, well, this engine was never going to stay in the Bentley. It's going in. Well, actually, pause the video now, go to the comments, and make a guess of what the hell this engine's going in. So yeah, I don't know what your guesses were in the comments, but I can be 100% sure you were wrong. But here's a couple of hints. That was the engine that was in it. A big 5.8 litre V8. That's the front grille of what it's going in. And that bloody great thing that Thomas is playing with now is what it's going in. And as you can see, Thomas is already making turbo plans. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Just two of them.
Yeah. One here, one here.
What this is a Ford Econoline camper van, which you're used to if you're from America, but in the UK, no, they are not common. It's like, for the UK people, it's kind of like a bigger Ford Transit. It looks a lot like a Mark III Ford Transit, but bigger. It's the kind of thing we would see on old 80s American films, kidnappers using or stuff like that. It does look like it should have a free candy sticker on the outside, and yeah, it's a bit dodgy, but it is cool as fuck, and it's massive. There you go, Econoline. Yeah, it's a fair size look. Normally, the engine goes there, as you can see. And yeah, that's a massive amount of room. But actually, there's very little room for your feet, because that's an engine cover, that thing there. So there's not much leg room in the front of these, despite having that amazing velour captain's chair. Look at that, high-tech, custom fit. But yeah, despite the amazing chair, these haven't got much leg room. But more to the point, despite this big sort of gaping hole where the engine should be, there's not much leg room, and there's not actually enough room for that Bentley engine. But, you know, front engine's a bit sort of boring, isn't it? You could put lots of things in the front. Why don't we? As well, you might have seen the Ford Supervans of the 70s and 80s and 90s. Why don't we mid-mount it? Yes, there's lots of room there. Honestly, this is going to be a mid-mounted Bentley Supersport engine, twin turbo, W12, Ford Econoline camper van. No joke. The front, well, it's still going to get used. Obviously, all the cooling's going to be there. And more to the point, the turbos are going to be there too. It's going to have some badass tubular manifolds heading forwards. Engine's going to sit about there, just behind the driver's and passenger seat. So they've got lots more leg room than standard. And then there'll be manifolds going to there. And all the radiator and intercooler and all that. And then good times. The whole front suspension is getting changed for something a lot more modern, because this suspension is terrifying with this kind of power, never mind Bentley Supersport power. So a modern front end is going to be fitted, suspension and steering. The rear is going to stay live axle, but it's not going to be just normal leaf spring anymore. It'll be a proper setup, closer to a, you know, typical American modified, you know, track stroke drag car sort of thing, 4-link or whatever. So yeah, this project basically is gonna, well, if you didn't know it was an Econoline, it would sound like a hypercar. Mid-engine, twin turbo, rear wheel drive, W12 cylinder, Bentley, you know, but it's not. It's in a fucking massive great camper van that's actually going to be used as a camper van too. Like fully, it's going to be very, very nicely done. So yeah, not so much one careful owner as one absolutely crazy owner. The customer is nuts and he loves this idea. So yeah, it's getting done. And the thing is, Thomas will probably, he's kind of challenged himself to how long before he gets the engine installed. Like I said, mid-engine, not where it should be. This would probably take longer. Well, it would take longer, but to make the mounts and mount it there, how long do you reckon, Thomas? Tomorrow afternoon?
What's that?
Having that W12 in place tomorrow afternoon? Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, really tomorrow is gonna be. I'm not sure if he's gonna make the engine mounts for it. Well, they attach the shock from the stuff, but it's definitely gonna be in place.
Yeah. So
I think I'm gonna get it attached to the frame.
yeah. So this Bentley Supersport engine and box will highly likely, Thomas has challenged himself, it should be in place, mid-mounted in the Econoline in about 24 hours. So Thomas is going to do a video, probably be time-lapse with, we'll put the clock in the corner of the screen or something so you can see.
Not 24 hours. From now,
Yeah.
it's going to be in, but the job it says is going to take, it's not going to do it tonight.
Oh, no.
Tonight, that's enough. Tomorrow I'm going to be here for about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I reckon within 8, 9, 10 hours-ish.
Yeah. So 10 hours from
But that's
Econoline to Bentley Supersport.
I think that's too quick.
Nah, not the way you work.
But then, business-wise, I should charge it twice. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a very good challenge, is it? Because I'm losing money here.
Yeah. Thing is, you know as well as I do, that's some of the least bit of work, and that getting this in might not take that long. No. The rest of it will.
It's 10%
Yeah.
of the job. That's the easy part.
Yeah, this is the big bit of the job. That's actually one of the easier bits of the job. The rest of it, well, that's got to be serious.
The exhaust manifolds.
Yeah, some big long manifolds.
Then join into the turbos. They're going to be in the front. So when you open the bonnet, all you can see is 2 big turbos. Not giant, but fairly big. Big custom built intake coil. That one, I want a giant, I want a big one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Nice wastegates, like really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice.
It's gonna look. This is the thing. The customer wants it looking as wild as the actual idea is. It's not like you know, he wants to open the bonnet and all that, and just be like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
And we actually found the use for these unfinished downpipes. Well, downpipes, the tailpipes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There you go. You'll need 2 of them for that anyway, won't you?
One each side.
Yeah.
Just in the front of the back wheel.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what he wanted, wasn't it? That's where he wanted the exhaust. So yeah.
He wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, like a proper like drag style.
Yeah.
American classics.
Exactly.
Or
so yeah, turn down in front of the back wheel is exactly what he wants. Here's another interesting thing. You wouldn't imagine it from an Econoline, but that is the prop shaft, and it weighs not that much. Aluminium. aluminium prop, it could probably survive a bloody nuclear war. But it weighs bugger all. You wouldn't expect that from this. You'd expect it just to have a massive, super heavy steel prop, and that's the end of it. But nope. Yeah, something like that. Wow. I reckon we should. I reckon we should get a reverse rotation ones. So once it's all exactly symmetrical. A couple of those Garrett G25 like 550s or 660s, the V-band things. So yeah, so it looks absolutely identical.
Oh yeah, already spoke with him.
Yeah.
And
yeah. He wants it like that.
Rotation, so it's all symmetrical, nice, and it has to be beautiful.
So if anyone from Garrett's watching this, then can we have some turbos, please?
Yeah.
But yeah, I reckon, you know, a pair of well, it's got to be symmetrical. I mean,
yes.
For what is, you know, he wants it looking crazy, so it has to be everything exactly opposite each other.
Yeah.
It's gonna
with 100% symmetrical.
It's gonna be as much art as it is performance, and it's gonna be a hell of a lot of performance. So yeah.
The beauty is this. Have you shown it? There's no rust on this.
No, oh, I haven't actually. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That's the thing. I don't know. We presume this car's never seen the road in the UK. I don't even know if it's registered here, and even in America, I'm guessing it was in a very dry state, California or something, because it is absolutely, completely rust-free. I mean, it's old, but no rust. I mean, you've got, you know, the typical, it's not even, I'm pretty sure it's done very little miles too, because there's not much in the way of, or anything in the way of stone chips. There's no rust. There's typical, you know, you see on the roof there's a bit of lack of peel.
Nothing.
You know, but it's
clean.
It's just a really clean car, and underneath just the same.
It's quite rare to find them in this state.
I'd say so.
Even in America, because I wanted to buy one of these before building mine.
Yeah.
But everyone was saying they rust badly, or, you know, sleep.
Yeah.
Everything you call is going to be rusted.
Yeah.
You have to invest so much money and time to restore them. This is.
It's absolutely mint. Yeah.
Not a single spot of frost.
Yeah. It's literally the perfect base.
Although it seems like a big car, but it's not. Well, it is, but the original engine was 3 inches offside.
Yeah.
You can even see obviously this for the engine.
Yeah, you can see it's off center. Yeah.
This is the center, and this is the center where the pulley was from the engine to the engine. It's like 3 inches roughly on one side to give obviously the driver enough space for the legs, for the foot. But passenger is completely on there.
Yeah, it's very little room, is there? It's weird. So yeah. So the diff is offset as well, isn't it, slightly? Yeah. This will no longer be an open thing full of an engine. It's going to be some awesomeness, and under there it's going to be a W12. Obviously it's going to be up a bit into the current cabin, but not by much. How high did we think? About 35 centimeters, including the plenum, I would reckon. Yeah, so not too much. It's literally going to be like a hump. So, you know, and considering it's going to be a camper van where they want a table or whatever anyway, it's literally not an issue. And in fact, a nice sort of centerpiece on the inside. It's like, oh look, it's a Bentley Supersport engine in that hole. So, yeah, absolutely insane, but incredible. And I mean, as well, once this is all the fabrication is done, even though this car's, well, can't call it a car, this van is pretty mint. It's going off to the body shop to be made even more like new. It's literally wow. We have to preserve it. Yeah. Wow. Going to hit obviously the UK roads. After a couple of years, it's going to be they're going to have to go to town on underneath to make it all properly nice, because the UK roads will kill it. So yeah, you know, no expense spared. Yeah, pretty much. It is really going to be. Because we have to build the front, the entire front suspension. Yeah, I said that. I said the whole front end is going to be changed to a modern setup rather than this old crap. I mean, obviously the steering, the suspension, everything. I'm going to use the Bentley brakes, of course. So,
You don't wouldn't really drive a big boat
No.
with 800 brakes on the
Yeah.
country lanes.
I mean, this thing with, yeah, any power would be frightening. But with the kind of performance it's going to have, it's going to be insane. But
Even if you leave the standard engine power,
well, yeah, I
it's
mean,
being mental.
standard, you know,
Because we're not talking about 600 brakes. Like that Honda engine is going to make 600 brakes,
Yeah.
but it's different.
yeah,
This is like 600 brakes and fuck knows how much.
yeah, it's just as much torque, but from literally practically idle, you know.
I think originally you said 1600 RPMs.
Peak torque was about 650 pound-foot at 1650 RPMs. Yeah, yeah. The Econoline super van. It's not so much Project Gentleman anymore as
Bentline.
yeah, Bentline. Project Bentline super van.
It's kind of, I don't know, Project Gentleman. It is, but it's. Well,
It's a bit of both. I mean, how many super vans did Ford make? 3, I think. Another day at the workshop, and today I'm doing all sorts of stuff. But first thing I'm going to do is show you more on the Bentley engine, because obviously this video you're watching now is mostly about that thing. So let me show you what's going on now, because this is going to be kind of, I suppose, the end of this video for now. End of this part. So obviously you've seen the Bentley engine in its various stages, and then us talking about, well, obviously it's going in this big old beast. But now, well, that's where it's going. Well, that's where it already is. That is how it's going to be. So no longer there. So no longer the lack of room for the driver and passenger. In fact, you could probably have a bench seat being all the way across if you wanted to, because it's now properly mid-engined. Still rear-wheel drive. Going to be going to a modified, you know, the Ford 8.8 that's in it. But yes, proper mid-engined Bentley engine. And no, it's not going to be, you know, it's just like it really is a super van. Mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, twin-turbo W12. It ticks all the boxes to be a supercar, but it's not. It's a late 80s Ford camper van. Fucking kidnap wagon, whatever it is. So yeah, this is like we said before. The engine is going to sit like this, but it's going to be boxed in. This is going to be a camper van, but this is probably going to be like a table. Literally with a table, probably with a lot of clear perspex, you can see it, with a very funky, pretty Bentley engine sitting underneath. As also kind of mentioned, one big advantage of this is now there's so much room at the front for activities, and the activities are going to be a proper turbo system, so proper manifolds and turbos at the front. So it's going to make more power than it ever did, but with a lot more reliability and efficiency and less heat, because the old setup, as mentioned already, yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. But now it can all go at the front. Manifolds, yes, they're going to be relatively long, but not ridiculous. And yeah, everything will just be efficient, and obviously exhaust running back and good times. But yeah, genuine Ford Supervan 2020, and at this time it's an Econoline with a Bentley engine. If you really wanted to, you could keep the turbos and everything under the chassis, you know, as in, you know, all underneath, which is fine and close. But again, this is this project isn't pure performance. I mean, it's a fucking Econoline. Of course it's not. The customer wants, you know, it's about fun, and part of the fun is being able to open the bonnet and there be some turbos there, but the engine being here. So hiding the turbos away, while maybe in performance terms it might be a slightly better way, in enjoyment terms nah, this works. This really works. So the main thing you need to do, because all I'm ever doing here is giving you a real basic overview of what's what, is go and subscribe to Thomas's channel, so Zurawski Motorsport, and there he's got proper detailed videos of the parts, you know, what these parts really are, how good and bad they are, and so on. You know, even things like the ECUs and stuff turns out to be very interesting, like what they're originally off. And also the fabrication and thought and everything involved in doing this craziness. So yeah, well, this is just a very basic sort of explanation of this. Go with videos to check out the full madness, because it's his crazy project. I'm literally showing you guys what's going on. I'm not touching this. It's way beyond my skills, this, believe me. So yeah, if you want some extreme stuff, Thomas's channel is the way to go. And that'll be it for this video. So now I'm going to get on with my other cars, but they can be on a separate video. So see you later.